Hey everyone, today we're doing a bit of a different video and taking a look at some GTA fan theories. Now in part 1, they're not all from GTA 5, but most of them will be, because those are basically just the ones that you can find the easiest online. With all that being said, I do hope you enjoy. Some of these are pretty crazy, some of them are kind of just pretty standard, a lot of you might know and agree with, but we'll just have to see. So I hope you do enjoy, consider liking and subscribing for more GTA videos, and let's get into the first theory. This first one is last because it isn't really a theory, and I think we all know why, like for technical reasons, but the first one is taking a look at why there's no kids in GTA games. And look, we all know it's just because in these games you can kill people, and obviously being able to kill kids in a game isn't really correct. Like, that's just not the right thing to do. They should be left out of games where violence is present. But this theory basically states that the government of basically every GTA city basically orders families to leave that city. Pretty much the crime is so bad that they've basically said, all the families need to get out. Which, look, that's a bit of a strange theory, and what makes it even weirder is how people somehow connect it then to Rockstar's other game, one of their other franchises, Bully. Shouldn't really call it a franchise because it's just one game. Definitely dropped the sequel, Rockstar. Anyways, they basically point out the fact that all of the kids that were in GTA cities may be like traumatized and stuff like that, and then they get sent to the academy from Bully, which is, look, that is obviously not the case. That's a huge reach, but I wanted to put it in the video because I found it kind of funny and kind of interesting how people take something as simple as kids can't be in the game because it's violent and somehow make a theory in universe. Like, that's pretty interesting to me, but let me know what you guys think. This one obviously isn't the case, just a fun one. So for our next one, we have that Lamar was meant to play a bigger role in the story mode of GTA 5. Franklin was either meant to just disappear or actually get killed. So there's been a lot of rumors that the initial story, the ending for GTA 5, there was going to be an option for you to kill, of course, the two that are in the game, Trevor and Michael, but there's also going to be an option to kill Franklin. As we now know, that isn't the case in the actual game. You can kill the first two, but then you can choose to save everyone. But apparently that wasn't originally the case, and Lamar was going to play a bigger role in the story, but due to real life cases with the actor of Lamar, they decided to keep Franklin in the game and keep him alive. I don't know all the full details. All I know is that Lamar was actually going to play a much larger role in the game, whether he took over for Franklin or was just going to have more voice lines and be more, in the story a bit towards the end. We don't know, but it seems like that was the case. But because of real life situations, Lamar's actor couldn't do that, so Franklin was in the game a bit more, which, look, I personally prefer. I like being able to keep everyone alive, and I like being able to play as Franklin. But let me know what you guys would have wanted. Would you have wanted to see Lamar more in the game? Because it was always very entertaining when he was on screen, so being able to play as him as like a main character could have been pretty cool. This one's a bit of a theory, but the actor for Lamar came out and mentioned this stuff, so it's a theory because we don't really know what could have happened, because he doesn't explicitly really say what it could have involved. But the theory basically is that he would have taken over for Franklin, and Franklin possibly could have died. So now we're up to my favorite one of this video, because it's the most interesting in my opinion, and it's that the three protagonists of GTA 5 represent the three characters of the 3D universe. So first up we have GTA 3, where we have Claude, and he is the Trevor of the 3D universe. And this is because people relate it to the fact that they're both very unhinged, both very crazy, probably the most psychotic of the protagonists in the GTA games. Claude doesn't say anything, so it sort of adds to the eeriness. He just kills whoever he needs to, doesn't really care who he betrays. And Trevor's very similar. Obviously he does have voice lines, but he's just very unhinged, very psychotic, doesn't really care who he kills, so people link it to that. Then we have Tommy from Vice City and Michael. Both are definitely not rookies. They've both been around for a while. They've both done a decent amount of crime, but they relate them because they're both older characters who seem like they are they're still doing crime, but maybe on their way out of it. Tommy, I know at the end of Vice City, he's basically built up this empire, but I feel like in a couple years after that game, he'd eventually give up crime if he hadn't been killed. And I get that same thing from Michael after the base game. Obviously he does a lot of crime in the game, but he was sort of giving it up at the start of the game. He'd been retired for a little while. People just relate the two because they're older veterans to crime. And then we have CJ and Franklin, who are both seen as liabilities, sort of seen as up-and-comers, I guess you could say. They're both characters that are just extremely underrated by the game they're a part of, but both are relatively, I wouldn't say CJ as much, but both are relatively new to crime, hence why they're seen as a liability by the rest of the gang. But then they prove themselves in the game and end up being like the most capable in the game, which is always a really interesting thing to see. So let me know what you guys think of this theory. It's personally my favorite in this video because I love both of the universes, so it's nice seeing how they possibly could connect. Is it intentional on Rockstar's part? Probably not, but I think it's a cool little coincidence if anything. Trevor killed his mum. This is a very interesting one and definitely I think could be possible, but also could be a bit of a reach. It depends how you sort of feel about Trevor and his capabilities. So in GTA 5, we get a little side mission for Trevor where his mum comes back and basically we're basically told that she was in prison and she goes and gets him to do a job for her, but then when Trevor gets back, she isn't there. And Trevor's very prone to hallucinations. People think he was just seeing her in his mind and she wasn't actually there, which is a good possibility. But people think there's actually a chance that he killed her just because of how psychotic he is. Maybe he had one of his little episodes and it ended up in her dying. Personally, I don't believe this to be the case. I do think it was a hallucination because I know this mum probably isn't the best if, you know, her son ends up like Trevor. But to be fair, I don't think she would just leave after telling him to go and do a job. I definitely think that she was a hallucination, but saying that Trevor killed her is definitely a bit of a reach. But as we know, Trevor, you know, he's not in the best headspace, so you know there's a good chance he actually may have done it. But same with all the other theories. I want to know what you guys think because it's possible, but at the end of the day, I don't think Trevor would do it. But maybe he couldn't control himself, maybe it happened. We don't really learn too much about it, unfortunately. We just see her and then she's gone. So again, let me know what you think. And finally, GTA Online is set in a dystopian future. So for those who don't really know what dystopian means, I'm just going to chuck it up because I thought I knew, and then this was a bit different to what I thought. So this is basically just what it means, just for those who aren't fully aware. And to me, this one could make sense. And GTA is meant to take place when it launched, 2013, but then it continues after story mode into the current day. So realistically, I guess it's set in 2025. You'd have to watch a video on the timeline because I'm not an expert when it comes to that stuff. But still, this is an interesting one because we've seen that the government is decently corrupt in most GTA games. I'd say especially in GTA 5. So I could see the game being set in the future and seeing just how crippling the government really is in the games. I think it could be a really cool idea. And of course you can link that to the futuristic elements already in GTA Online, like of course the flying bikes and the Batmobiles and stuff like that. Obviously if the game is set in 2013 or whenever the game released that, you know, those DLCs where you get those futuristic vehicles, that isn't around yet. We're in 2025, those vehicles don't exist. So clearly their technology is nuts in Los Santos, or the game's basically it has to be futuristic because how is it so far ahead, right? But let me know what you guys think. Is it in the future? Let me know what you think of the whole video, really. What do you think about these theories? I think most of them are, some of them are justifiable, some of them are kind of ridiculous, but let me know what you guys think. I just thought it'd be an interesting little video to make, but I hope you all enjoyed. As I said before, consider subscribing for more videos like this and leaving a like. I really do appreciate it. I hope you all have a great day, and I hope to see you in the next one. Thanks everyone.